Hey there, we're on week 2 of season 2 of the Griffith Show. This week's episode title is Barney's Replacement. Barney, tell us about this week.
Well, Andy is putting up wanted posters on the bulletin board in the courthouse, and I come up and I say, Andy, you took me in charge of the bulletin board? For heaven's sake, you took someone in charge of something, you ought to let them handle it. And then he tells me to take down one poster because he heard that criminal's been caught. And I say, I prefer to wait for the official verification. And then he gripes at me later that day about a stop sign that's still hanging. And I say, I prefer to wait for the work order to come in from the county.
Oh, and then he gripes at you about how you parallel parked the patrol car once because later that day because you bumped the car in front of you.
And I say, you've been ticking at me a lot the last few days. Just tick, tick, tick. And then some guy shows up from the state attorney's office. Says he's been sent down to Mayberry to be an extra deputy for a while. It's training for him. But I don't believe it. And I go and I tell Fella Lou, can you imagine Andy going out and getting a replacement for me? And he's expecting me to teach him. And so I decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold back. And pretty soon this new guy's going to have to swim alone. And then he's going to sink.
And the next day, the new guy shows you up on bulletin board procedure and on how to get a stuck siren unstuck on the patrol car, and he does it in front of the whole town.
And then later I come in to see that the bulletin boards didn't all reorganize, and I say, who's been messing up the bulletin board? And then this hotshot makes a chart of crime statistics in Mayberry, and he says it predicts that the next crime in Mayberry is going to be a wife-beating charge. And it turns out he's right. So then Andy sends him out on the call instead of me. And I go and tell Fella Lou, well, if Barney Fife isn't wanted somewhere, Barney Fife doesn't stay. So I'll just bow out.
And then Andy doesn't want to accept your resignation, but he does.
And I try selling vacuum cleaners for a while. So I go to Miss Clara and I say, permit me to demonstrate to you the new Miracle Sleep vacuum cleaner. The very finest on the market. But no one takes me seriously. And then I see Andy on the street, and he says he wants me to come back. And I say, Andy, where are we going to be going? Because I got a lot of these live thrust waiting. I'll see you.
But then the new deputy brings you in on peddling without a license because Andy told him to, because Andy knows that will get you back.
And I tell him from the jail cell, I don't think you're fit to be a deputy. And I ain't going to stand by and see it happen. Andy, I'll withdraw my resignation. And then as the new guy leaves, and I take his place again, I say, don't ever try to get too technical. Not when you're dealing with people.
And everything's well in Mayberry again. Thank you all for coming to the site. We'll see you next week for episode 3 of season 2.